All right. Hola, guys. ¿Qué paso? How's everyone doing? This is Hala Pablo. Thank you for tuning in. Let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, so let's see. We have these two. This is a 12-hour macro, and then I have the CME gap chart. Looks like we have a CME gap that is unmitigated from around 97,000. So that should bring us back to the creek. That's the actual anchored VWAP line. So you've been following these videos from last month up until about where Bitcoin marked up. We were going off a fractal, and so the fractal took us down to about this area here where the creek was, and where the fractal continued to to mark down to show distribution. Instead, it was invalidated, and we marked up. So that was here where the creek crossing was. So yeah, the fractal's invalidated. So I'm going off a new kind of schematic slash chart now, where, as you can see, it's quite simple. I've got the macro trend lines and the micro trend lines here, and it's governed by the anchored VWAP. So we have the selling climax here where I anchored the first VWAP. And remember, this was the ice, what we called the ice barrier. And then we had a deep spring or terminal shakeout. And then where the price action came, crossed over the anchored VWAP that was sourced here, that showed this to be a double bottom. And this was where basically I took the wrong turn. I was expecting more of a downward price action trajectory, and instead we had a consolidation. We had a bull flag, and then it marked up here. But the telltale sign at the time, which in retrospect I should have heeded more attention to, was the crossing of this creek barrier here. And then the subsequent consolidation above the macro trend resistance line here. Remember, this trend line goes all the way down from this bull cycle, this macro bull cycle that started back around 15,000 way down here. So we've had these reaccumulation ranges bouncing off the macro trend support line, and it's brought us to where we are now. And then the last creek bounce, or the creek crossing, took place there where these two, this macro trend resistance line, as it were, and this macro trend support line converged here at the creek. And then we had the markup here, and then we had another reaccumulation range here. For this one, I anchored a new VWAP here at the buying climax. This is the source of the buying climax. And then we had a creek crossing here within this kind of like this this rising channel here. And so now here we are at this top, or is it a top? We don't know yet, but we anchored another VWAP to the buying climax. This could very well be something up here. This would, if we break down through the ice now, through this VWAP, then we could have like that familiar kind of head and shoulders kind of formation, which would bounce off the anchored VWAP. Now remember, we looked at the CME chart, and it showed that there was a gap around 97,000. So that would show like a retest of the ice if it does come back down. Well, in this case, would be the creek. And then depending on what it does here, this is if we fall through the ice. We haven't fallen through the ice yet, but we could. And then we would break down through this micro trend support line back down through. And then remember, the price action is drawn back to the anchored VWAP. So that would theoretically poise a head and shoulders formation. Now, whether or not we continue down, it depends on what happens here. If we're able to bounce off this first creek here, or rather, this would be the second creek. This would be the first creek. If we fall through the ice, the creek turns into ice, then we could be coming back down to retest this macro trend support line where this first creek line runs parallel like this, and so that's something that is possible, and that would retest the lows back down in the 80s therewith. But like before, I was speculating Bitcoin in the 70s. That's kind of what we were banking off before. I don't really know if that's gonna, of course, now after this strong creek crossing that we had back in April, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see that. But so if we come back down and retest this area here, if we fall through this creek, this first creek at 97, then I think we could be heading back down to retest the first creek at 89, 88, somewhere around there. Certainly, if we reach this area, we need to buy. Or it's not financial advice, but I'll be buying for sure. I'm not waiting for 70,000. I'm not waiting for 85,000. Anywhere within the vicinity of this macro trend support line, I'll be buying, and then anywhere under that is just bonus, throw over prices, kind of like what we saw here and here, and it's we have areas where the throw over has gone through the MAC trend support, like here and such. So. But certainly the area within the macro trend support line, anywhere near it, in the proximity of it, is I believe is going to be like a good buying opportunity for Bitcoin. And so, yeah, so that's all I got right now. I just want to do a quick update what I'm looking at. But right now, all eyes are on this area here. Is this a double top? Is this a head? It could be, we have this, let's see if we go back like this. Where's that chart I was just on? Is it here? Right. Yeah. So it's all about just, if it can hold the ice up here, this ice line from this, this looks like a distribution. But if it's able to hold the creek and bounce up from it, then we can continue on, and this would be a reaccumulation range. If not, this is a distribution, and especially if we fall through the ice, then we can come back into this rising channel area. So that's what I'm looking at right now, and if that happens, then maybe we could start seeing Bitcoin dominance begin to decrease a bit. I think once we reach down and it starts blowing off steam, we get back around, say, 60%, 65%, I think we can really start seeing, quite possibly, the altcoins starting to come alive, really come alive. We've seen a few of them pop off so far, but they're really just like, spikes coming back down, shooting up to the 1272 Fibonacci extension and then just coming straight down. They're really not able to hold those new support areas up in the heights of the Fibonacci extension ladder. They're just coming back down. They're hitting a ringer and coming back down. And, I think that they're still kind of skittish. All eyes are on Bitcoin right now, what it's going to do. But yeah, right now, I mean, you can see where, that this new ice or this new creek is held, So, so this would be the ice right here. It's gone back through. So we'll see. And we do have some substantial volume. And this is on a 10-hour. So clearly there is aggression. There is bullish aggression, bullish momentum. But whether or not we can mark up from this area of consolidation remains to be seen. For now, there's a strong battle taking place for this area, this ice / creek area around 103,000. So I think in a few days, or maybe today or tomorrow or this weekend, the battle will be conclusive, whether up or down, who's going to prevail. Like I said, if it's up, then we should breach a new all-time high or come up around, 106, 108, somewhere around there. But if down, then I think we're going to be drawn back down to this second creek of the 109,000, which would close out the CME gap. So that would make sense. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. and you'll get more updates. We're going to be doing some altcoins soon too, because I think we're going to start seeing an increase in the altcoin dominance. I think that's coming back. I'm not saying full blown altcoin season, but I do think that there's going to be some juicy opportunities with the alts. And so, all right, guys, we'll talk to you later. God bless you. Love you. I'll have some more messages in the days to come, evangelistic messages for those with ears to hear and hearts to receive. But for now, we're just going to take it day by day, hour by hour, and look at Bitcoin and watch the alts. All right, guys, that's enough for me. Got to go. Talk to you later. Adios. Bye-bye.